Hello, fellow travelers. I am Dr. Richard Hector. Welcome to episode 6 of Soucouyant, a Caribbean supernatural tale where we reimagine the Soucouyant, a character from the folklore of the Caribbean. Here, we follow her as she is depicted in Trinidad. Her depiction might be different in other places in the Caribbean. In episode 5, we saw the ambulance attendants struggle to save Flat's life. We saw the police officers investigate the fight under the bridge. They suspected, then cleared Vashti and Irons as assailants. In chapter 6, we see the deductive reasoning of the policemen and more of the humanity of the Soucouyant. We learn that even she was surprised by this humanity. Irons decided not to go to work. Vashti easily evaded the trap set by the corporal. He apologized and went on. In the previous episode, the constable and the corporal realized that they were not able to trap the Soucouyant using friendly banter. The corporal said, "Oh, my mistake. Sorry, ma'am. Mr. Walcott, you went down and checked out everything. You took the active role, yes?" asked the corporal. "Most definitely," said Vashti quickly, before John could respond and possibly attempt to share the credit. "Well, his statement is enough," said the corporal. "Okay, we're done here for now. Thanks again, and I hope the rest of your day is less exciting than this morning," he said and walked to the car. The constable got in the car and waited. He started the engine when the corporal got in. As they drove off, he asked the corporal, "So you believe them?" "Yes, they didn't show any suspicious movements." "But you're suspicious anyway." "Yes. You see how whoever beat him up flinged the clothes in the river?" the corporal began. "Mm-hmm," agreed the constable. "If he had a little rendezvous under the bridge, why would he throw his clothes in the water?" "He wouldn't," said the constable. "Right. And a man wouldn't undress another fella after he beat him nearly to death. So it was a woman, and she wanted to make sure that he was naked when we find him. She wanted to humiliate him, pure and simple." "So that's why you examined the Vashti woman so closely?" "Yes, but by the state of her clothes and shoes, she wasn't in a fight." "Could she have watched the fella do the fighting?" "Mm-mm. That fella couldn't have beaten up that big guy half to death. I think a fight between those two would have gone the other way, actually. He would be the one beaten half to death," observed the corporal. "True, I think so too," responded the constable. "Besides, you saw his little tool bag on the bridge," said the corporal. "Mm-hmm," responded the constable. "He wasn't in a fight either. It was as he said. He was on his way to work." "Also, not enough dust on their shoes," added the constable. "Right. Not enough dust on their shoes, their clothes were not rumpled, their hands were clean and clear. They weren't even in a struggle, much less a fight." "I agree," said the constable. "And she didn't get tripped up on your distraction about your cousin?" "No. She is a sharp one, and he was innocent." "He didn't even notice?" "Nope," said the corporal. "He thought it was just a chat," said the constable. "Yep," responded the corporal. "But she caught on to what you were doing." "Right away," responded the corporal. "So the clothes in the river will remain a mystery." "Yep," responded the corporal. "You worrying about that?" "Nope," responded the corporal. The car disappeared down the road, leaving Vashti and John standing in the early morning sunlight. John was startled by how little time had passed since he met Vashti. He felt that they had been together for a long time. He took a deep breath. "Geez and ages, what a morning this is," he exclaimed. "Ent?" agreed Vashti. "But he will make it," she continued. "I hope so," said Irons. "Why do you think so?" he asked. "I don't know. I just have a strong feeling," she explained. "So you going to work?" she asked. "Nah, I can't think about work after all this, said John. And, agreed Vashti. I am going home. I have to see my wife and give her this news, he said. Can you just call her? Asked Vashti. Yes, but I want to see her and give. Somewhat embarrassed, he did not complete the sentence and let it trail off. After what we have just been through, you bashful with me? Vashti scolded him gently. You're right. We did share a strange experience. Okay, I will tell you what I feel. Good. What do you feel? Well, looking at the sad state Flats is in, with all his money, fancy car, and power. He was under that bridge, with no one caring whether he alive or dead. If we did not happen along, he would probably be dead. If he lived, John began. When he recover, Vashti interjected. Okay, you're right. When he recover, still no one cares. It makes me appreciate even more that I have a nice woman asleep at home. She would be beside herself if something bad were to happen to me. I'm going home to be with her. What about going to work? Asked Vashti. I will call the man and let him know what happened. Hopefully we can start tomorrow. He looked at Vashti. Look how I'm going on about me. What about you? Well, I still have to go to work, she answered. I understand that, said John. Will you be up this way again? Will I run into you again? Oh gosh, let me answer one question before you ask another. You asked, what about me? Said Vashti. I'm okay. Then, probably and probably not. I will probably be up here again, and we will probably not see each other again. Like I told the corporal, I move around a lot. Well, it was nice meeting you, said Irons. Likewise. May I have one of the hugs you planning to give your wife? Asked Vashti, smiling. No, I don't share the hugs I have for my wife. Vashti's eyebrows arched a little higher, but the smile still graced her lips. Lucky woman, I understand, she said approvingly. I wasn't finished talking. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. What were you going to say? You can't have any of the hugs I save for my wife. You can have one of your own. Vashti was actually surprised. She let out a chirpy little laugh and threw her arms around his neck. Thank you, John. It's been a long time since I've had a hug of my own. He enfolded her in his arms and closed his eyes. I can't believe that, but whatever you say, he replied. She let herself sink into his embrace. His sincerity rushed through her with the speed of light reflected down a hall of mirrors. It touched a place long neglected in her memory. Humanity. He touched her humanity. Her breath caught in her throat. She had not felt any human warmth for time spanning many mortal lifetimes. She meted out justice, but justice did not require feelings. Justice did not even require comprehension. She held him for a few moments longer than the duration of a friendly hug. He returned the hug without ulterior motives. She probed quickly to see if she was unintentionally compelling him. She found that she did not compel him in any way. He was sharing the hug and warmth on his own volition. The ember grew into a blaze and produced the warmth of 100 parang bands singing Sereno, Sereno at the same time. A sob formed in her chest and escaped past her lips before she could stop it. She shuddered and cried out softly. She whispered, I'm sorry. It was her first time being embarrassed in what was probably centuries. No need to apologize. It's been a tough morning, said John soothingly, as he interpreted her crying to be a reaction to the events they shared. Thank you, she spoke into his shoulder. I'm okay. You go home to that lucky woman. Are you sure you're okay? He asked. I am better than I've been in a long time, she said truthfully. Okay, I will let you go, said Irons. Okay. Are you sure you're okay? Asked John again. I told you that I'm better off. If you had two wishes this morning, what would they be? Where did that come from? Irons laughed as they unwound their embrace. Just humor me now, she said. Okay, well, I wish Flats live and learn his lesson. He has to live to learn his lesson, so that's one wish. What would be your next wish? I don't have another wish. Try now. Please, I just want to hear, she said. I would wish you reach safely to your destination. Those are wishes for other people. What would be a wish for you? Well, for me? I still wish you safe travels, he said. And I wish we find money to pay for rent and food this month, he chuckled. That's all? She asked. That's all I need. I have health and love. I don't need anything else. You are wiser than you know. Goodbye, John Walcott. She smiled at him as a tear rolled down her cheek. Goodbye, Vashti Ramkilawan, he said. May I? She asked. May you what? Do this. She reached up and pecked him on the cheek. Their cheeks brushed lightly. Her teardrop wet his cheek and was quickly absorbed by his skin. I guess I can't say no after you did it. You could give it back, she laughed. Nah, it's okay. Since it's done there, let it stay, he laughed. Thanks, she said. Yummy boy. Oh, you speak Spanish? Said John, surprised. Then, vaya con Dios, he said. Or something, she responded with a laugh.